Extraterrestrial. Fuck you, Terry.
My body lies over the ocean. My body lies over the sea. My heart's one true desire is bring back the whalers to me.
Back in 1972, the whalers were born. They moved to Hartford in 1974. 1997, Hartford lost its whale. It was Hello Charlotte and Bye Bye Tail. Bring back the whalers to us, to us. Bring back the whalers to us, to us.
Tiara, how are you now?
Good and you.
Oh, not so bad. More music. I love it.
I really like that song.
Yeah, it's a band out of where I have it on the last page here. They're out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, called Light the Lamp. They are a hockey-based punk group. So,
Okay. All right.
so yeah, they're very excited to have their tunes on here, and we're going to be using them more as we get some more hockey related episodes. There's a little hockey in this one, but it's after hours practice.
Yes.
So yeah, that was a song called "Bring Back the Whale." Anyway, so yeah, it's
Hi.
Hi, how are you now?
Good.
Yeah, really good.
Deadly.
Deadly.
Yeah. Diddly.
All right. Diddly diddly.
Diddly.
Deadly diddly. So, hi. You do that to me. So we got our, just to let you know, we're still doing our cosplay contest, and this will be the last cosplay contest of the month. The
last episode of the month.
That will have the cosplay contest. We have 2 entries.
Yay!
I don't know why you guys are shirking your duties about doing the cosplay. It's not like it's hard to take a picture. Get dressed up in a flannel shirt or your onesie or whatever. Take a picture and send it in.
Borrow your friend's feather boa and have a little super soft birthday picture.
I mean, everybody does super soft birthday parties now.
Right?
So, yeah. How hard is that? So anyway, and as you heard, the Light the Lamp is an independent band, and we are always looking for independent bands to play on the show. If you would like to be part of that, feel free to email us at hosts@howareyounowpod.com. Send us links to your stuff. We'll check it out, and then we will get you involved because we love independent bands. Also, we have a voicemail number. If you want to just leave a voicemail to us and letting us know, what you think of us. If you have thoughts, theories, questions on episodes, we've got a recording coming up with someone from the show.
Yeah, somebody.
Jess Alguero, which we'll be recording tomorrow. And I know I've put it out there for you to leave us voicemail messages, any questions that you had. So 304-50 Ferda. You can leave us a voicemail message and we'll try and get you on the show. It depends on how many we get. If we get any, we haven't got any yet for that. Yeah. So, and we also have a Patreon that we like folks to get involved with, because what we do when we do recordings with cast members is we put it available to the Patreon members first. Everybody does eventually get it, and they'll get it at our recap show, which will be happening on the 27th, I believe.
End of February.
End of February, yeah.
So basically, if you are one of our patrons, you will get to hear this interview as soon as we get it edited and loaded.
Yeah.
But if you are not, you have to wait till the end of next month.
Correct. Can confirm. And we got a new Patreon member this week. It's Lorna Violet of Phoenix Down Farm, and they didn't really have anything that they wanted to promote because she's a Patreon at the $5 level. Didn't have anything to promote. or anything exactly, except for she had this message.
I don't have anything specific for myself. I can be found on Facebook at Phoenix Down Farms, but I don't have anything I really want to promote there. However, I do have something I feel really strongly about and would like promoted as long as you are comfortable shouting it out on the podcast. Absolutely. And this is the Trevor Project. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they are an amazing resource for LGBTQ plus teens, young people who are struggling. As the mom of a person who came out as transgender at 15 and now is now an amazing young adult, I am hyper aware of the struggles that LGBTQ young people go through. I'm constantly heartbroken by the ways these amazing people are rejected by their families, and it's really important to me for them to get support and acceptance from someone. Not everyone has a loving mom and stepdad like my Seth. I suspect you guys will be okay shouting out the Trevor Project. But if not, you just let folks go to Phoenix Down Farm on Facebook for pictures of goats and ducks, and that would be cool too. I love that. Yeah. And we will absolutely shout out whatever you want to shout out. If that's a charity that you want to promote, or I don't know, a person you just want to say hi to and have us say their name on the air.
Yeah.
That's what this is for. We
Totally
will do
cool.
it.
Especially things like this that are
Absolutely.
promoted. Yeah.
It's close to our hearts too.
Yeah, very much so. Join our Patreon. We'd love to hear your voices and have you on at some time. It would be great. And one of our longtime patrons is our guest today. Yeah. And she's also been a fan of the show even before she was a Patreon patron, and she's amazing. And one of our youngest listeners, Reagan Sicard. Reagan, how are you now?
Hello.
How are you now?
Hi. I'm good, and you?
Oh, not so bad. We have a little delay on our communication here.
Ooh, unfortunate. It might be. It's a bit stormy out right now.
It's all right.
What with lake effect snow.
Totally all right. Hey, I've got real quick. I've got a voicemail for you from a friend of ours.
Okay.
Hey, y'all. It's awesome. I just wanted to call and say shout out to my friend Reagan. I'm so glad you're appearing on the podcast. And we know how you feel about Fine Shrine, but can you tell us how you feel about Heart Sigh? All right. Have a nice day. Bye.
Well, there you go.
So I actually found out about this show because I'm on a Discord server with what do you mean it's not awesome?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And a thing was posted about the episode where you first mentioned Wayne potentially being autistic.
Yeah.
And we had been discussing it for a while, and we had become friends because of a fic she wrote with autistic Wayne.
Yeah.
So it was a whole thing. And the reason I started listening was because I'm friends with them.
Yeah.
And then so Fine Shrine, it's a song in this episode by Purity Ring. And then Heart Sigh is another one of their songs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fantastic song. Like, both of them are great, but Heart Sigh, it's just like, there's a lot. Yeah.
So it gives you the feels a bit.
Oh yeah, big time.
We were listening to it at the end of the episode because unfortunately, for the longest time, I hadn't been paying a lot of attention to the music in the episode until I heard that Jared Kiso picked all the music for the episodes, and which led me to start picking music from independent artists to put on our shows. So yeah, it wasn't until this I'm like, that is a really cool song. I like that, and Tiara wasn't paying attention really at that, and I kind of explained what it was saying. Building a shrine inside you, that's where you've built yourself inside me. That's which was a really, really cool imagery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Canadian artist too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think pretty much all the artists that Kiso picks are Canadian. From what
a good chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that. I think it's awesome that he does that. So, Reagan, why don't you tell us your Letterkenny origin story?
Okay, so I live in rural Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Rural Southern Ontario, to be exact.
Okay.
I'm 1 hour north of Listowel, which is where Jared Kiso comes from.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about Crave is that it's owned by Bell.
Okay.
And Bell is probably the biggest media company in Canada. They own a lot of stations, they own all of CTV and all of that. So you'll constantly see commercials for Letterkenny.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, oh, this looks interesting, and I watched it, and I live in rural southern Ontario. Everybody watches Letterkenny around here. Everybody actually talks like that and has talked like that before. Like that's the way it is.
That's awesome.
I had seen the Listy Problems Twitter account long before Letterkenny, and I thought, oh, that's funny. That stuff happens at like my school. And yeah, so that's my Letterkenny origin story.
So out of curiosity, are there other kids that are your age? And I know you're an adult, but you're a kid for my age. So so are there other
What are the kids listening to these days?
No kids. Are they listening to this crap? No, seriously. I was just curious. I mean,
our kids don't watch the show and think that we're weird. So
are there other kids like people my age watching Letterkenny?
People your age, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Big time.
Nice.
It's popular with like, you'll get like the Hicks, which I always grew up calling them like the farm boys because it's predominantly guys and always talking about their tractors and their sheep. So they'll watch it, but then like the kids from the pit who would basically be the skids, which the pit was the smoking pit. It was literally a ditch in front of my high school that we called
had the
smoking
Westwoods,
pit.
which was like 3 trees.
Yeah. So they'd be watching it and they'd be loving it. And then you'd get all the football, all of like the athletes and everybody and the hockey players.
Oh yeah.
Love Riley and Jonesy.
Oh yeah.
Well, hopefully they learn lessons from Riley and Jonesy.
Oh yeah.
Because they're kind of the anti-lesson.
Yeah.
Well,
like just everybody watches it.
That's awesome. That's good to hear that. I mean, because down here it seems to be mostly
adults.
Yeah, I mean, I can look from our show stats and see that it's 30 plus. Yeah, for the most part. So it's good to see that younger folks are picking up on it and loving it as much. So tell us your podcast. How are you now? Origin story.
Well, like I said, I'm on a Discord server with What Do You Mean It's Not Awesome, where it's all about Letterkenny. Quite a bit of thirst directed towards Kiso. Quite a bit.
Surprise. Why not Squirrely Dan?
Oh, Squirrely Dan's sweetheart.
I love Squirrely Dan.
All of them are.
Yes.
So I found out this podcast because somebody posted the preview for the episode where you first talked about Wayne being autistic.
Yeah.
And I tried to track down which episode that was like 30 minutes ago, and it isn't in the notes.
Yeah,
I can't find it. I
don't remember even.
I think it was.
It just naturally started coming up after we'd been talking for a while. And
because I saw something pop up. I think it was on the Letterkenny subreddit,
probably,
which everyone should check out r/Letterkenny. And somebody had mentioned it, and Tiara had not been watching it with her teacher goggles on. And
once I put them on, it was like, okay, how did I not see that?
So yeah, that's kind of where that started. So that was, I don't know if that was season 1 or 2 that we started.
It was one of them.
Yeah.
It was
and I was like, oh, I listen to an insane amount of podcasts, so I got to add another one. It's about Letterkenny.
Oh yeah.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised there's not more Letterkenny love out in the world. I mean, it's picking up. It feels like it's picking up.
I think, the Hulu deal definitely will help.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Big time.
I mean, it's really funny to me when people are discovering like the groups. Like I'm in a bunch of crossover groups, and one of them is You're in a Cult, Call Squirrely Dan, and which is a My Favorite Murder Letterkenny
I love
group.
My Favorite Murder.
Right? And this is episode Dan talks about how he listens to My Favorite Murder, which is perfect.
I haven't known about that.
So like I think it was when did Letterkenny come up on Hulu? Like just a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it was
a
like it was
lot
right
of
when the new
people-
season.
Yeah, a lot of people in that group had never seen or
Yeah.
heard that there was that before.
Because we
That
went.
was amazing.
Apparently, we did our Letterkenny special back in August.
Yeah.
So
I knew we did it like when it came out in Canada because we went
Yeah.
to Canada.
yeah, we made
Yeah,
that.
you went to Canada.
We're
Trip
in
to
Seattle.
Vancouver.
It only
It's-
takes 3 hours.
Yeah, it was just on the other side.
Checked
of
out the coup.
Peace arches.
I don't know if anybody calls it that.
What calls it? What?
The coup.
Who's it? Oh, the couve. We will.
I don't-
Well, we
I've
will
never
now.
been
I might now.
That's
For
that may
this-
also be that may also be a sex term.
Probably.
Check out her couve.
Let's not do no.
Don't let McMurray in on that one.
Right? No.
You guys want to talk about couve?
Jesus Christ. He has been talking in McMurray voice for like a week leading up to this episode. And I'm
Oh,
ready for it to
man.
be over.
There's so much couve. Hard rock rooftop poolside. You've never seen so much couve in your life. So anyway,
Gross.
yeah, gross.
Yeah, gross.
Yeah, basic.
You nasty.
Yes, I am. So, real quick before we get into this episode, but last week we had season 6, episode 4, Dicks Slip Out, where we got to meet the Dicks and go on a dick hunt. And find out all about Charity and Chastity Dick and all that good stuff, and Lovina Dicks and all that good stuff with our buddy Renee Encarnacion, and with music on that episode by Brian Douglas Day, which was also amazing. I love all these artists
Yeah.
that are allowing us to play them, so it's just awesome.
Yeah, keep sharing with your friends who are in bands. We really, really love the emails that have started coming in lately with
Yeah.
new bands that we can play for you guys.
More, please.
I need to I have a friend who has a punk band. I need to let her know about
Totally.
this.
And
Yes.
Yeah,
we would
it's called
also
Nuclear Problems.
excellent.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
was saying we'd also like some more hip hop artists. We've only had one
Absolutely.
so far, which is amazing, but we need more. So-
We need more variety.
Yes.
Like what we listen to, we get a lot, it
Yeah.
seems, mostly because we know people who know people that are in those kind of bands.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's the EDM stuff like you might hear with
All
the
of it,
skids,
yeah.
all of it, yeah.
You want to hear
Fucking send
anything
it
that
to us.
if you are making music, we want to hear it and we want to promote
So,
you.
Yeah. So anyway, Dick Slip Out was just really about more the expanding community, or showing the expanse of the community, which
Yeah.
is the Mennonites are part of it, and kind of
Yes.
giving a little backstory there. So I don't know if there's anything else that was really involved there. I mean, a bit more of the takedown with talk where they had to stop that for a bit, but it was really just about getting to know Noah and Anita Dick, and
a lot of dick jokes.
so many dick
Yeah.
jokes. So yeah,
I'm surprised that none of their there weren't any that there weren't more of their children shown, because Mennonites have a lot of children.
Right?
yeah.
Not sure of the veracity of this, but the general thought is they have a lot of kids because farm accidents happen. And at that point, you've got some spare children. I'm not
Yep.
even joking. That's
This is
that's
true.
what everybody just says. Yeah, they spare children.
Oh yeah. The more hands you have, what is it? More hands make
Less work.
less work. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Yep.
that's absolutely a a value of Mennonite people that I have known before. I'll just put it that way.
So then we get into this episode,
Yes.
episode 5 of season 6, Different Strokes for Different Folks. And as you know, I will be the play-by-play commentator. Tiara will throw in some color commentary, and as will Reagan, as we go through. But then at the end, we will be giving full-on thoughts, theories,
Yes.
reviews, questions, observations, etc. So we start off the open with the produce stand, with the Hicks at the produce stand, sitting around discussing terrestrial radio, satellite radio, and podcasts. Katy mentioned hearing DMX on the radio recently, and that she really low key loves him. And Wayne likes him too, and she goes, really? Why? Is it because he barks like a dog on the song, so he must be an animal lover. Katy agrees and pretends to bark herself a little arf arf, which is fucking adorable. Wayne asks her to do it again, and
then Derry.
yeah, so then Derry jumps in, tries to make a high pitched bark. They just make fun of him. Katy says that you may as well have used a cat sound at the end of the guy, at the end of that. And Wayne asks her to do that again, she just says meow, and she goes, "No, I want you to do it as if you were doing the doing it as a song." And she breaks out,
"I'm click-clacking and rack-stacking. Bitches know I'm packing. I'm the trillist. Meow."
which was absolutely adorable. Wayne says that there's no other animal sound that would make a rap song with sound tough as a dog would. Dan disagrees, and so they all go off on their little tries to show how doing the same thing with sheep, ducks, roosters, cows, goats, crow, donkey, dove, and a frog. I think that was the bulk of them.
Yeah.
Dan then he's fed up with all this, and he breaks out,
I'm the king of the jungle, bitch. Bow down. Rah!
You're pretty sure that was a lie and he was attempting there, so you stand correct?
And corrected.
yeah. So yeah, that was kind of hot.
It was completely hot. Are you kidding me?
I would contend that anybody who has ever encountered a rooster knows how intimidating they can be. I have 4 of them. I know how scary they are.
So you have some cock stories. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I have cock stories.
Yeah, it is technically illegal to have a rooster within the city limits of where we live.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you can be fully nude within the city limits.
You can be totally nude. But having a rooster is
So you can be nude, just don't be around with your cock.
hanging out.
Don't be hanging out with your cock. So then we cut back into the house after the open. Derry's on the phone with Anik. Are you sure it's okay? Are you sure it's okay? And they're all rolling their eyes at him. He hangs up, and they all just telling Derry to quit being so needy and clingy, and they warn him. And so then Marie Fred comes and sits down. Wayne cocks her gun.
I fucking love that.
So then they all start talking about the Century Club, and where they do 100 shots in 100 minutes, 100 shots of beer in 100 minutes in honor of Uncle Eddie and the time he had such a bad sunburn. This side of Sasky, they had to spend the entire solstice inside drinking bar down.
Solstice.
That sounds like an EDM band or something. The Soul Sticks.
Yeah, it does. It's a rave band for sure. So discussion of who will show up. The skids are sober, and Riley and Jonesy haven't been heard from. Then they talk about McMurray and how drunk he's going to be, and they should stay away from him. And he just says the worst things. And Marie, Fred, and Katy just start getting super curious and asking about it, and they don't want to tell him, but Wayne, Derry, and Dan all tell him, that just don't ask those things. You don't want to know. And then finally they talk him into it, and you end up with this.
Wayne, how would yous like to talk about cunt?
Hey, Derry, are you an ass man, a tits man, or a cunt man?
Hey, you ever fucked a couple tasties at the same time?
No, I fucked so many tasties.
They used to tell me, hey, you want to taste it?
They used to say, come on, big boy, why don't you have a little bit of a taste?
I go down to Vegas with about 17 buddies every single year, and you never seen so much cunt in your life.
Hard rock, rooftop, poolside villas. I've never seen so much cunt in my life. Anybody tells you they've seen more cunt than that's a liar.
I used to fuck so many tasties.
Oh, damn it. Where is Mrs. McMurray in all of this?
We don't ask those kinds of questions.
I tell you, the last time we were down there, we made a little hashtag so the boys could keep track of each other. Why don't you go ahead and search hashtag Mash the Gash 2018?
The year before, it was hashtag SlitSlam 2017.
Oh, they were just the tastiest little slits you've ever seen.
You never seen a gash so tasty.
You know what? Bobby Jim Dandy, you're gonna lose a digit in that sort of snapper.
Let me tell you something. Vegas, Hard Rock, rooftop, poolside villas. The cunt's there for the money, and the money's there for the cunt.
All right, everybody take a drink.
Yep.
So Marie
I will
Fred
say-
is basically, she says, "Are you done?" And then there's a pause and she smacks him in the arm and just rants.
In really, really sexy French.
Yeah.
Half French.
Yeah.
I think Barry's McMurray impression is the best of the two.
He's pretty good with that.
Kiso, you can tell he was on a detective show. With that voice. You can tell. 19-2 flashbacks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I still got to watch that
Yeah.
one.
It's good.
Yeah. So anyway, she runs off, comes back into the room, and says, "Katy," makes her. She has to smack Derry now. So Katy is very concerned because she thinks that Mrs. McMurray doesn't know anything about this, and so you can see she's got things in motion in her head. We then cut to the gym bathroom where Riley and Jonesy and Dax and Ronzi are continuing their discussion of their takedowns, as they have been since they're almost at the finish line. They're on the last day. Just kind of going over their I can't even remember all the countries that they've thrown in there. But
Oh, God. Yeah.
they've been pretty damn funny. But anyway, they all go in to take a piss, and then they all start screaming because it hurts to pee for some reason. So yeah, they've all got STDs. And we cut back. We're now at Modine's. The Hicks walk in, and Glenn welcomes them in, and he informs them he's taken over the bar for Gail since you'll be drinking and binging, which is the form of alcoholism. And then Dan asks, "Well, where's Bonnie McMurray?" And she comes out, and then it's like a scene from
80s movie where she's walking out and the wind is blowing, everything's in slow motion. Everyone behind her,
guys and girls,
checking her out. Dan's face.
Ooh.
I love it all.
So she comes out and she gives the rules of what's going on, and then McMurray shows up hammered. The McMurrays show up hammered. Mrs. McMurray goes off to the bar to get a gin, leaving as does Katy and Glenn, and so it just leaves the Derry, Squirrely Dan, Wayne, and McMurray there, and he comes back with,
Well, now that the sit-down pissers are tramping off to the bar, you guys want to talk about cunt?
"This is like, when you're hanging out and you're talking about cunt, that's what you do." So
I am really curious if our listeners, if anyone out there just with their friends sits down and talks about cunt. I genuinely want to know.
You never show them.
Is that an actual thing?
Maybe
I think it would have to be a very specific situation.
Yeah,
right.
That's not even a part.
Right.
That's not even a part of the lifestyle thing. I don't think. So
Right, exactly.
That's a McMurray thing.
Ugh.
I mean, there may be people who are of the McMurray ilk, which, we'll talk about that later. So they cut back to the gym. Dax and Ron are commiserating with Riley Jonesy over having the clap. When Dax and Riley realize that this is the first STD that Riley and Jonesy have ever had. They're so proud of them. So they talk about how many they've had, 20, 30.
It's in the ballpark.
I can't remember the time that we didn't have one. So, so Riley and Jonesy, though, freaking out.
Oh.
End of days.
It's their punishment.
And so they're just freaking out, on the floor,
crying, holding their dicks.
Yeah. So, and back to Modine's. The shots of beer are being poured and slammed. Music is playing, and I've forgotten the name of the song that was playing. Reagan, you probably know.
I have a note on it.
Yeah.
Fashionable People by Joel Plaskett Emergency.
Yes. Doing questionable things.
Yes.
Yep.
Dean was singing along every time we watched the episode the last 2 days. He'll just start singing along. I had never heard the song before.
It's a very it kind of reminds me of Paul Simon back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So that was it was a very cool song. Yeah, I dug it. But anyway, so they're doing the shots, and Squirrely Dan got his hat on inside out, upside down, and inside out, and to the side, and so finally they get all through all 100 shots, and Marie, Fred, and Katy get up to help Glenn clean up as Gail,
Everyone made it.
And the Mrs. McMurray head off to use the facilities. Derry leaving Derry, McMurray, and Dan and Wayne all at the table. And Squirrely Dan talks about how fast he is again, and
with a huge belch.
So McMurray then pipes up and says, I got to tell you about the time of Cunt Cripple 2016. And Dan says, you really don't have to do that. And
you don't have to feel like you should do. Oh, yes, I do. Oh.
Yeah. I was going to do it. So anyway, he regales them with the tale of Cunt Cripple 2016. Katy overhears this the entire time. She's just getting angrier and angrier. And Derry at that point, Derry's picks up his phone to call Anik, and she runs over and stomps on the phone and says, McMurray. And then Mrs. McMurray wakes up and says, Katy. And then so Katy has to stop for a second, go over to see what's going on Mrs. McMurray. And she's about to start telling her, when Mrs. McMurray comes back with this.
What are you doing the last week of May? Why? I'll tell you. Every spring, me and about 17 gal pals head down Cancun for a girls' weekend. Okay, let me tell you something about spring break. The older cunt is there for the young cock, and the young cock is there for the older cunt.
Oh, Katy's face, like her gigantic eyes get even bigger, and she's just like, oh fuck, okay.
And now I understand.
And I didn't want to.
and Mrs. McMurray just has her hand just kind of gently up on her bosom.
Yep. That was, I think, the first time we watched that episode was the only thing that I could see in that scene was like she's holding Katy's boob, and Katy just like looks down and looks back up at her like, okay.
I mean, they have had sex.
I know, right? So, that is canon.
Yeah. So we cut to black. We come back at the bar. Pretty much everyone's cleared out. Bonnie and Glenn are getting their money from Gail, and Bonnie's going to drive Glenn home. She says, "Oh, I'll keep you regaled with hymns to keep you awake and inspired."
No, you won't.
Fair enough. So they head out, and we see the McMurrays dancing cheek to cheek on the dance floor. And Katy says, look, they look like they're so in love. And Wayne says, well, with every appearance that they are. And Katy and Squirrely Dan have a chat about it, and that how actually in love they are, and they shouldn't be judged for their relationship. Basically, that that different strokes for different folks.
Yep.
And the name of the episode, and that Katy had yelled at Dan for
which was just the cutest thing in the whole scene.
Yeah,
or the whole episode, because Dan's just like, so Miss Katy's. Earlier, when I said that, you kind of yelled at me. And she's like, you're right.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. And Dan's like, yep.
You nailed it. And then he pops his finger out of his bottle.
Drinks more.
Yeah, and fade to black. So, also at the same time, Marie Fred walks on the dance floor. Before we fade to black, Marie
Derry
Fred
asks to borrow the phones. Everyone goes, no.
Right. Then Marie Fred walks on the dance floor, waves Wayne over, fingers him over, and a finger wave.
Come here, boy.
He walks out there, and they dance, her head on his shoulder, and as they're twirling around, Wayne pops his head up, and then they fade to black. And there was he had an epiphany at that moment.
His eyes got opened.
We don't know what it, yeah, we see his eyes.
Literally. Third eye opened.
Yeah.
Wayne's a psychic now.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, he has a moment of clarity.
Well, I mean, and watching this, not knowing what is about to come next, you don't necessarily know that.
Right. I mean,
maybe he's looking up because someone walked in.
We will say, could be. But we have seen him say she's a keeper a number of times
in this episode.
In this season.
Yes. But in this episode in particular.
Yeah. So
knowing what I know about later episodes, this scene is very different now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So and that's the end of the episode. Now, real quick, before we get into thoughts, theories, trivia, observations, etc., we did get another voicemail. And this is from a fella, Dale, in Snohomish. And he's talking about our pal, Tio Horn.
Hey, I don't need to be on the show. My name is Dale. I'm from up in Snohomish. I just heard Tanis on Tom Power tonight, so make sure you have a listen to that. Again, I live up here in Snohomish County, and I love your show. I can't tell you how much. I absolutely love it. But anyway, I wanted to give you a call that Tanis was reviewing a book on Tom Power tonight on Q. Well, talk to you later. Take care.
So thank you, Dale. Now, I know Tiara's researched this, and you also, Reagan, may know something about this. I'll let you fill in on what that's all about.
Okay, so CBC Books has an annual book debate.
Okay.
Let's see. It's called Canada Reads, and this year, Tio Horn is one of the contenders. So essentially, she's going to take a book and debate how awesome that book is against other books. And it's like a Survivor thing. They're going to be voted down by a panel.
What's the name of this?
Yeah.
Canada Reads.
Do you watch this, Reagan?
Yeah, I generally try to read all of the books every year.
Nice. So cool
Sometimes they slip through the trap. Generally, libraries up in Canada, they'll have all of the books.
Excellent.
Like, they'll get them in for it. And, like, a little sticker goes on. It's red. It's got the CBC logo on it. It says Canada Reads.
Nice.
Yeah.
They should do some shit like that here.
Yeah.
It's almost like Canada wants their population to be literate or something.
Yeah, it's almost like Canada has culture. And
Oh my
wants
God.
it consumed.
That can't be true.
We don't have fucking culture.
We don't have no culture here in America.
We're America. We don't have to do no book reading.
I don't need none of your fancy book learning. So,
Yeah, I've
heard that before.
Yet to read. I've yet to read Son of a Trickster, that's the book she's defending.
Yes.
But my sister has, and she absolutely loves it. And if you give me a second to find it, somewhere in my mentions, I told Tia Horn that my sister loves it. And she said that my sister has fantastic taste. She tweeted that at me.
That's awesome.
We love Tia
that's
Horn.
great. Yeah, so she's fantastic. She needs to write an episode of Letterkenny or get a spinoff.
Oh yeah, definitely. We need a res version of
As long as there's still lots of crossover. I'm okay.
Totally. Completely.
Down with that.
But like one book that was in a previous incarnation of Canada Reads was Life of Pi. Which by Jan Martel, which it became a movie, and fantastic book, like one of my favorite books.
Nice.
So good books on Canada Reads.
Excellent. All right, so then let's get into thoughts, theories, trivia, terms, observation, etc.
All right.
So, I'll start with Reagan. We'll have you go first.
Okay. So back to the cold open.
Yeah.
Terrestrials radio. I have never heard radio referred to as terrestrials radio. Or terrestrial radio. I've never heard that.
I have, yeah.
I understand it.
I think because I was an early adopter of satellite radio.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was, you had it in the car, and I thought it was weird that we didn't listen to the radio anymore. And like, I
didn't listen.
And
to
now we don't listen to the radio anymore. Everything I do is Spotify or podcasts.
Yeah. So Squirrely Dan's not wrong.
No, he's not.
Podcasts are kind of the new radio. Really.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Because they're on demand. Because everybody likes streaming. Yeah. So whether that's,
I mean, I fully admit, and I know that part of this is because my beautiful autistic brain, but there are like 100 songs that I really, really like, and I will listen to them over and over and over again. And if I really like a new song, I might add it into the queue.
Yeah,
it's got to be hard for artists. I mean, I think that's probably why
sure
there's just so much pop on the radio these days.
They have to get out. They have to just turn it out.
Yeah. So, it's unfortunate. I mean, because like growing up when I did, I know it was like they would play an entire album. So that was I had Q102 album rock.
No, I never had nothing like that up
here.
Yeah,
that was back in the 70s and 80s. So, That's Redbeard. There's a,
Oh my
was
God.
the DJ.
We had, we had Cube 93, that was hip hop and rap. We had KNDD, The End, that was all alternative and like, I don't know. Now I would probably call it like burgeoning post-punk, but it didn't really quite have a label in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
We had the oldies station, which now oldies is stuff from when I was a kid, and that's just really weird. But yeah, and the classic rock station.
Yeah.
KZOK. That's it. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
And I only listened to like the end in KZOK.
When I was in Commerce, Texas, I was right at East Texas State University. Unfortunately, we had a very cool college radio station there that played what they called college music.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was cool. You know, that's where I learned about REM and all those guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was very big then.
Which then got somehow lumped into the music that I listened to.
Yeah.
For me, we've got Country 93, which country. There's the Doc, which is like 101.1, and it all airs. It's all classic rock. There's Q107 out of Toronto, which is rock. 102.1 The Edge is also in Toronto. It's alternative and rock, which a lot of Canadian music, but that's just CanCon laws.
Oh yeah.
Like we have laws that I think it's like 30% of what you hear on the radio has to be Canadian.
Hey, that
just means it's
yeah.
Canada's very protectionist about its culture.
It means America can't take over.
Exactly. Yeah. Because there's a lot of shit that's coming out of here.
Oh my God, there's so much shit coming out of the U.S. right now.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no trickle down economics, but shit rolls downhill. So.
I mean, I'm super proud of some of the non-traditional artists that are breaking out in the U.S. right now, but I have no faith in the music system.
Yeah,
it's
the industry. It's nothing against the artists themselves. It's the industry.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, let's get back to Letterkenny.
Yeah, Letterkenny.
Let's go down that path too far. What else you got, Reagan?
So Anek. My middle name is Anek.
Oh, nice.
Which I've always thought that's interesting. That I have like my middle name is the same as a Letterkenny character. Don't think we'll ever get one with my first name just because it's a bit too presidential.
Yeah. And you were on purpose named after that president.
Yes, I was.
Were your parents Michael P. Keaton?
Oh no. No.
Did you get that reference?
No, I know who Michael Keaton or whoever that is. I'm young.
Michael J. Fox.
It was Michael J. Fox on the TV show.
Alex P. Keaton.
Alex P. Keaton. You're right. Sorry, Alex P. Keaton.
Now I get that. Yeah, I've seen like one episode of that show.
He was a huge Reagan. Yeah. Anyway.
No. Queer Canadian woman named Reagan, and a leftist at that.
Oh boy.
So that's a lot.
I'm down with it. Anyway, go ahead. What does Anik mean? Is there?
I don't know.
I mean, because I'm kind of in that the Bruce Willis manner of in Pulp Fiction is this is America, baby. Names don't mean shit. You know?
Yeah.
It's a French name. I'm named after my dad's favorite cousin.
Okay.
I've just looked it up. According to babynames.com, it means gracious, merciful.
Well, you're definitely gracious. I don't know how merciful you are.
No mercy.
Yes. Good answer.
Show no mercy.
Good answer.
All right. What else you got there, Reagan?
I'm looking through my notes.
Okay.
Katy and Marie Fred are a great combo.
They are. I like
just the way they are together.
Yeah, I like fantastic. That little sup.
Yeah. As usual, I love Gail.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
How can you not?
Yeah.
There's I don't know him.
I actually have a note that Glenn and Gail together in this, like that scene of them where Gail's like getting lower and lower and Glenn is just leaning into her and they're both just staring. Oh my God. It's funny and smart, and I have seen people try to flirt that way in real life.
It's chemistry, but it's not romantic.
Oh yeah,
right. It's a platonic chemistry.
Yeah,
that's Tierney I forget her name, and I feel so bad. I forget the actress's name.
Oh gosh, now yeah.
But she was in Anne with an E.
Yes.
Yes, she was
She was in
and-
Schitt's Creek.
yeah.
She was also in Schitt's Creek.
Yep.
Schitt's Creek. Oh, Schitt's Creek is so good.
It is. I've been telling
Oh,
everyone who will listen that if they can watch Schitt's Creek, watch Schitt's Creek because it's fucking hilarious. And I'm ready to watch the last season when we get it. So
Yeah, my dad's
Lisa
old
Codrington.
doctor. Oh, okay, Lisa Codrington. Yeah, my dad's old doctor is actually Eugene Levy's brother. Yeah,
Nice.
I was
Nice.
going to go to the school that Eugene Levy went to in Hamilton, Westdale. It's a high school.
Yeah.
Lots of rich people, but it's like very big drama school.
I bet that's probably
But
where.
moved up to middle of nowhere instead.
I wonder if I wonder if Dan Levy went there
I don't know. I don't think so.
because he's. I mean,
But-
his acting.
I've got such a massive fruit fly crush on him. Like,
But
I love him. I love him, and
But,
I love his boyfriend in the show. Okay,
He's
this
in
is a
the
letter.
floor.
This is a letter.
Letterkenny,
This is Letterkenny. Stop.
Yeah,
We'll,
yeah.
we'll,
Sorry.
tomorrow we'll start. We'll
Canadian- all
start. We'll
Canadian
start,
shows.
we'll start a Sharks Creek podcast.
someday.
Creek.
All right.
Not tomorrow. Tomorrow we're interviewing somebody.
So yes,
Different strokes and Not My Pig kind of go hand in hand.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like that's something I've noticed. Like they're both about like let people do what they want and
Yeah.
mind your own business.
yeah. And Wayne's
Which
all
I
about
love
that.
that.
Wayne is all
Yeah,
about that.
that's
Katy
very-
just wants to
yeah.
get in there.
Yeah, he's very much a you do what I do. Sorry, you do what you do. I'll do what I do
Mhm.
kind of guy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
My dad, for one. My father is Wayne.
Well, I mean, he does warn them. He warns
Over and over and over again.
You know, it's best left this one unpacked or parked.
Yeah. Don't stick your nose where it doesn't belong because you might not like what you find.
Precisely.
Basically.
Precisely.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Fine Shrine.
Yes,
So that's a fantastic song.
it is.
Just everything about that scene. I feel like I owe Jacob Tierney my life for directing that scene. And
Yeah.
I also owe Jared Kiso my life for writing it.
Yeah.
It's so incredible. Like
Yeah.
the way that like they're holding each other and the look at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like so much like you go in and you're expecting like, oh, it's the funny hick show. But then they hit you with that.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
That's not fair.
Yeah. There's
You're not supposed to make me feel things.
so much good story. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think they kind of they do the change up a bit where, you know, we're going to do a lot of story in this episode and this is how we're going to do it, but we still have the comedy. So you'll see less of the external the tertiary characters, I'll say, secondary and tertiary characters. So this was really just focused on the Hicks,
Yeah.
with a dash of hockey players,
Yeah.
just for a little comedy break. Yeah, that was the comedy break, and then sometimes it's all just comedy break, you know. So
Yeah.
I love the way
Fart
they do
book.
that. Yeah, but fart.
There's
book-
so
don't,
many.
Don't get me
yeah.
started on
Oh,
fart.
no,
book.
please don't.
I love fart book.
Each episode, every episode of Letterkenny, no matter what the episode is, somehow has like 20 or 30 different lines that
Mm-hmm.
of storyline that have weaved through it to create, like even the one-off holiday episodes. There's always little Easter eggs in there that tie back or call back to
Mm-hmm.
things from earlier episodes. So, like, it's a really interesting show just because of that. They never really like tie everything up in a nice neat bow. It just keeps flowing like real
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
I love that.
So yeah, and there's always, you know, at the end of the season, there's, you know, if there's a cliffhanger, they come back and it's already the
drama is over.
Yeah, it's already happened.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, as we know.
Yeah,
So-
I like the way they do that. Like
Yeah.
they do like a serious cliffhanger, but then it's like,
But
nothing happened.
Then it's they may have dealt with it, but they're not going to show you all the angst
Drama.
that went along with that. So they're
Yeah.
gonna show you the tail end of it, but with a little humor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like that about them. Yeah, that's what I appreciate. about them.
Letterkenny is a very special show.
It is. It is.
If anybody who hadn't grown up in rural Southern Ontario had made it, it would be terrible. It would be constantly making fun of the Hicks.
Yeah.
Look at how stupid they are. Look at how conservative they are. Look at how they hate gay people and their race, all of that. But because Jared Keeso grew up in Perth County, of all places, it's respectful.
Yeah.
It's still not afraid to make fun of people, but it makes fun of everyone on the show.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, and it's not a punching down show.
No,
they
it's
don't
not.
make fun of people for that being the punchline.
Yeah.
It's usually like, oh, you did something stupid. We're going to make fun of you for a second, and then we're all buddies again.
As an example, The City, where they had the big fight at the end. The guys bring out the knives, right?
Yeah, not like the U.S.
Yeah. So and then at the end of that, in the discussion, bring
a knife
to a street fight. You know, that's and Derry says number 5 million why the city is what is fucked or whatever he says.
Yeah.
So not just knives that they it's weapons. So that, you know, if you're using a tool, that's one thing. Like they did have an episode where they're out there with the Tanis episode where we meet her and she's burned the burning of Letterkenny, and they're out there shooting coyotes. So that's, I understand that, if you're having you're taking care of your land, that kind of stuff. But yeah, you don't see them out there like, I mean, had this been a U.S. show,
they're not homosexuals.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is my favorite term right now.
Yeah.
Sorry out there if you are one. You shouldn't be listening to me.
I don't. I have no problem with firearms.
No, I have no problem with firearms.
I grew up with them, and
it's the obsession and sexualization that has come out of gun culture.
Yeah. So we'll leave it.
We'll leave it there.
Yeah, let's leave it there because I did just get a nice review that gave us less than one less than 5 stars because we talked about politics. So if you don't think Letterkenny has politics in it, you're not paying attention.
It's like the people that think that Star Trek isn't political.
Oh God.
Yeah, it has politics. It's just they're not talking about what Justin Trudeau sucks. That's not what they're saying.
Right.
They're talking more about like I don't even know the word anymore. It's been forever since I went to school. Really, it's been 2 years.
Forever. Yeah.
So anyway, let's move on to other topics in the show.
So I have one that
I got nothing.
I genuinely want to know if people out there think that Howard Stern is sexy.
I know some do.
I do not get that, and I absolutely want someone to explain it to me because I don't find him funny, I don't find him interesting, and I definitely do not find him attractive. I do not understand the appeal.
I think there's he has a nice voice. I will give him that. So when you listen, he has a very good radio voice, and he can be charming and engaging, and he's confident. So I think there's a lot of that that goes into it. Personally, I mean. Some people find me attractive. I don't get it either. So
it's because you're cute as fuck. Shut up now.
That's what I appreciate you about you, Miss T.
Like I've heard about things that have been said on Stern's show. I've never listened to it. I have no interest in listening to it, really. So I don't know. I literally just saw a picture of him for the first time, looking it up.
I used to listen to it back in like the 90s.
I listened to it early on.
Yeah.
I mean, and all the way up pretty much through when he came out with the movie. And yeah, he was, I think a lot the that what he does on the show is a persona.
Oh yeah, so, absolutely. I just do not.
It's not the persona you dig. I dig.
Right.
It.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is what it is. I'm not. I don't.
But like seriously, like if anyone out there, especially on our Facebook group, because that's really the only one that I'm able to follow very well. I'm trying with the Twitter, not so good at it. But like if you're in the Facebook group and you like Howard Stern, I genuinely want to know what it is that you like about him. Like no shame or anything like that. I am not doing that at all.
Different strokes for different folks.
Exactly. I do not like him and I do not understand the appeal. I would love to know what you see in him. So just putting that out there. Yeah. Also, the rap lyrics that they did with all the animal sounds, were those actual rap songs or were those things that the writers came up with that sounded like they could have been rap lyrics? Like, I don't listen to rap,
I mean... But you're black.
I know, right?
Black fail.
Yeah, well...
You do like Lizzo.
I love Lizzo.
Oh, Lizzo is so good.
Lizzo is like... And now I'm Native and I can say this, Lizzo is like my spirit animal because like being introduced to Lizzo at the beginning of this last year and all the way through actually getting to see her live the same week that my sister died, it was really like, she's all about it. You know, it doesn't matter what you look like. You just go and you be you, and you are amazing and beautiful exactly how you are. And I really fucking needed that when at that time. So Lizzo is a different kind of
positive messages.
Yeah.
Take control. Take charge.
Yeah.
Be you.
Yeah. Yeah. She's incredibly talented and like just being able to play the flute
and twerk
and
while
sing,
wearing a corset
and sing the breath control.
Right. Let me tell you, I put on a corset and I can barely talk, let alone sing, dance, play the flute, twerk, any of that stuff. Like I walk funny when I have one on.
Yeah, I saw her when she was at the basketball game recently.
With the Howard Stern pants.
Is that what those were?
No, that's what they look like to me. Do you remember from the movie? When he had his ass hanging out, her pants were like that, but she has a better ass.
Well, actually, that wasn't his ass; that was a fake ass on his pants. As Fart Man, that's what.
Yes, that's what that was.
But anyway,
why do I remember that shit?
But anybody shaming her for that shit, fuck off.
Right?
So
I wish I had the confidence that she did, even like a smidge of that confidence.
Get after it. All right, what's next?
All right. Okay. Another like question that can't really have an answer, although I'm sure that the obvious answer is just because it's evil. But why does Katy hate Facebook? Like Katy's like, fuck Facebook. And it's the only mention of Facebook that I remember so far being in this.
Well, I mean, that's
show.
Going back to fart book. I mean, there's a
right.
I think a lot of that is based off of that, that kind of goes from there and the skids all use Facebook.
True.
So it's just I think there's so much shit farting going on.
Well, and I also know, I don't know how it is in Canada where you are, Reagan, but I know that, or is Reagan or Reagan? Reagan, sorry.
Reagan.
I know a whole bunch of like late teen, early 20ers who are like, Facebook is like the stupidest thing in their possible imagination. So I get that generationally has changed already. But it's just like kind of out of nowhere about the Facebook comment. Like they haven't said anything since episode 2 or 3 or whatever that was.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was a little odd. And I wondered if at the time that they were writing this episode, if there was something that had is that when it started? When Facebook,
I wonder if Facebook did anything bad.
Right? I know. That's what I was saying. I'm sure there's some obvious answer that I'm not.
Like they sold information to
every social media platform.
There was a whole.
Facebook that was a bit worse.
Yeah. What was that fucking?
Cambridge Analytica.
Yes, Cambridge Analytica. That was that. So
yeah, was that about the same time?
That was for Brexit.
That was in 2016.
So that would have been about this season, right?
This was. Was this 2018, I think?
No.
Was this?
I don't know.
This is season 6, so that would have been 17. So it would have been right after all of that had started.
Yeah.
7 and 8 have come out in the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
True.
So anyway, okay. Then my next question is, Katy knows the McMurrays very well, has been around the McMurrays many, many times, but yet somehow doesn't know this thing about Mr. McMurray and his language. He doesn't keep it quiet. He waits till they walk away, but she can hear him from the bar. So this isn't the first time that he's talked like that around her. It's just the first time she's noticed.
Yeah.
So
I think the plot needed it.
The dates. I think that Wayne has probably been protecting her a lot from McMurray and his the way he is.
I'm sure, but still, how does she not know? She's slept with Mrs. McMurray. She's been around Mrs. McMurray many, many, many times when she's super drunk, and never anything like that was brought up from.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know about that. But yeah, I don't think she's been around super hammered Mr. McMurray that much. Go ahead.
Was he outside? He was outside during St. Patrick's Day, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she wouldn't have been around super hammered McMurray then.
She was with Mrs. McMurray in the bathroom at
Yes,
that time.
that was that episode.
Yeah, she was looking for that pot of gold. Anything else we got?
We'll do that one in a minute. I love how, and we talked about this when we watched it. I love how Mrs. McMurray, when she's drunk, and this is not the first time it has happened, when she kind of swoons over Dan, she like looks up at him and giggles. Yeah. She's given him the doe eyes a few times, and I love that so much. She's just like, I wish that I could have you.
I remember those fingers.
Yep. So I just yet another thing that I love, that just a very subtle thing that she does when they first walk into the bar. She looks up at Dan and is like, and that's it. It was cute as fuck, and I loved it. And then Derry getting all cute and excited and wanting to hear more of the story. When he had earlier basically said, you don't want to hear these stories. I thought that was really funny, but also because it was, he had never heard of people peeing on each. No, he had. He had. But he'd never heard of somebody actually doing it and knowing that person.
Well, he says, I heard about guys peeing on girls, but I don't see what's in it for the girls.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't get it either.
Yeah. I mean, if you're into it, fine.
Yeah. I mean,
you do you.
Yeah.
Exactly. You do you, boo.
I have absolutely no problem if that's your thing. I know plenty of people that is their thing. It is not my thing, and that is okay.
Different strokes for different folks.
Exactly. But I just the look on his face when everyone else is like, can we just go? And he's like, no, I really want to hear the end of this. I want to see where this goes. Yeah. I have probably been that person in a conversation a little too many times. So then the last thing that not the last thing, but the other question I had, I guess, for all three of us. Yeah. If we were to become one of the takedowns from one of the four gentlemen, what would your country designation be? Or what would your nationality or cultural, or how would they explain you?
Reagan, let's have you go first.
Well, they would definitely mention Métis, which they mention in the show, which I was like, oh, because I'm Métis.
Okay.
So, and I never hear that mentioned in like modern media. So that's cool. But I don't know. French Canadian Métis, probably. Because I got both of those.
Yeah. What would yours be?
I would be a Scottish Texan Seattleite.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've actually been trying to figure out how mine would be, because I have so many things in my background.
Yeah.
Like I literally think that they would just be like a Creole Canadian. Because Creole is like 700 different things.
Yeah. Yeah. Creole Canadian Washingtonian.
Creole Canadian Native Washingtonian.
There you go. So
the very last thing that I had is probably one of my favorite lines that has ever come out of this show. We are none's of us perfect, and that is what Eyes appreciates about us.
Yep.
And that is, I needed to say that again, because it literally is my favorite line of the show ever.
It is. It's a very good line. Dan he's such a soft guy, but he will beat the shit out of you if he needs to.
Mm-hmm. And he's willing to like learn and grow and like commits to it and admits when he makes mistakes. And anyway,
he drinks his respect women juice.
Yes.
Now, and also let me remind everybody in this episode, this is now canon, Derry has carried Squirrely Dan home.
That was you? Nice. Yeah. That is
was
canon.
yours?
And just like, I love all the little throwaway like facial things that Squirrely Dan did throughout this episode.
Yeah.
Like big over the top smiling and faces and like, ooh,
smile.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Oh, Squirrely Dan's smile.
He's adorable. He is adorable.
He's the best.
Well, then let's talk about these characters some more as we get into... As a reminder to all those playing at home, this is our version of Fuck, Marry, Kill, in which we do not like to kill anybody, but we'll beat the shit out of them. And we like to, instead of marrying them, we'll be friends. How about that?
Yeah,
So let's start off as we do with Wayne, who Gail has apparently forgotten. So
I don't know him.
So you, Juliette Binoche and Marianne Cotillard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're with Wayne on this one.
That's a good question. This is the episode where like you can see that he is falling in love with his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say Ferda because Wayne don't cheat.
Okay. All right. And Reagan?
Well, Wayne is an eternal fuck for me.
All right. Hey.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You do you.
One of my notes about it is just scream. That's one of my notes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Derry.
He's so needy. Ferda, because I would probably be Katy. Actually, I probably would have taken the phone away and like put it somewhere long before she finally grabbed it and like stomped on it.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm pretty sure that I have done that for friends before, where I'm just going to hold on to this until the end of our night, and then you can have it back and text them all you want.
But I don't want to be complicit.
Exactly.
And this fuck up that's about to happen.
Derry, absolutely, because
Ferda.
boy needs somebody to break through and go like, dude.
Yeah.
Woman like that is not going to handle your insecure ass. She's going to get tired quickly.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Reagan?
Fight.
You gonna fight Derry?
Derry needs to stop being an idiot. And someone needs to make him do that. Fight might not necessarily.
After you fight him, are you gonna, show him the right way?
Oh yeah. No. Like it's kind of like a Ferda fight.
Okay.
Like
I'm with you. I get it. I mean, sometimes there's a Ferda fuck, and sometimes there's a fight fuck, and yeah, it happens. Miss Katie's. This might be the only time that I would consider Katy as a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Because number one, she learns a lesson she does. And she's very happy about that. And that look she gives it to Dan at the end. Just
you did mention that. Yeah,
it is adorable. So yeah, she's been a bit of a cow lately.
Yes.
Especially to Dan.
Yes.
So, but I think it seems like she's trying to break out of that.
Or she's realizing that she's been an asshole and she's like, okay, I'm sorry. You're right.
I wonder if that a part of that is because she is currently uncoupled.
Could be.
So anyway,
Katy. That's a
Reagan. Let's start with you then.
Yeah.
While Tiara is pondering.
Ferda. Yeah. I wrote she and I are on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
But I wrote these notes like back when it was first decided I was going to be on the podcast, which that was a while ago.
Right.
So I don't remember what that note was referring to. But Ferda.
All right then.
Ferda.
All right.
I think I would say Ferda too, because seriously, I know she wouldn't listen to Dan when Dan said mind your own business, but I would have been like, girl, are you sleeping with him? Then you don't need to talk to anybody about anything because you do not know what's going on in that relationship.
I get the girls wanting to protect girls and,
right.
that
but
type
make
of thing.
sure that you are actually protecting them.
Right.
And it's like people getting offended on my behalf really bothers me.
Yeah.
So her getting offended on Mrs. McMurray's behalf without actually knowing the whole story. Find out the story. Don't just go, okay, I'm going to go and tell this woman that her husband is sleeping with someone else. Well, what if they're poly?
Yeah.
What if they're
they know that they're part
swingers?
Of,
if they're...
So let's talk about
business.
that. So because it's mentioned up top that they're part of the lifestyle, and the lifestyle is many different things.
Yes,
for
there
many
are
different
like
people.
100 million different ways to be a part of a quote unquote lifestyle. There,
a non-monogamous.
Yes.
Folks. So whether that's
some of them are highly ethical, some of them are not, some of them are sex only, not love.
Yeah.
Some are full. Whatever relationship develops is great.
Yeah. It's not a one size fits all for anyone. So it is what it is. So mind your own business, Katy.
Yeah. So Ferda, mind your own business, Katy.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Squirrely Dan.
Oh, I am fucking.
Are you climbing Squirrely Dan?
I'm climbing Squirrely Dan. That is a really great way to put it. Fuck yeah, I am climbing Squirrely Dan. All right.
All right then. Reagan.
Ferda. I want to be friends with Squirrely Dan. He seems like he would be a great friend.
Yeah.
And like from the classes he's taking, like we could have some pretty cool conversations.
Oh yeah.
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 He wants
Professor Trisha's.
And since that issue between him and Katy about saying the Professor Trisha, he has turned that off, where he's actually made it more his own voice instead of always Professor Trisha's voice. So,
which was what we talked about in the last episode, wanting him to do that.
So you're Ferda. All right. So Marie Fred. Only in this episode.
Only in this episode.
Well, I mean, Reagan, we can't say.
Yeah, Reagan, in any form of Marie Fred, at any point in Marie Fred's timeline, you can totally call for that.
So, but yeah, I mean, because we're on this every episode, so we play it by episode. So up to you.
Well, there's a bit of Ferda.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of fight.
Right.
And it's like
spoilers.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it, but I don't know her reasoning.
Right.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't fight her.
Right.
So I guess Ferda.
Okay.
Because like with a bit of fuck mixed in.
Oh yeah.
She's a beautiful woman.
Fuck yeah. Oh my God.
I would say kind of the same thing I said for Wayne. In this episode, it would almost probably be a fuck for me, but because she's with Wayne in this episode,
so
I would be Ferda.
Okay.
But yeah, she's the character arc up through season 6, so when we know her through season 6, I love her.
Yes.
I think she's amazing, wonderful. I would
she's funny and
take
charming.
that opportunity if I had it.
Yeah. Right.
However,
we're not going beyond that.
We're not going beyond that.
So anyway, Riley and Jonesy.
Oh. I'm gonna walk their asses into the clinic. Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't think they're fucking anybody.
And I'm like buying 100 condoms for each of them and going, why the fuck have you not been wearing protection? This is not how it works. These are kids you are sleeping with. Let's be honest here.
So are you fighting them or are you a Ferda?
I would be a Ferda fight. Like I would want to smack the shit out of them and then say, okay, we're gonna be grown-ups now and go fucking take care of this.
Yeah. Reagan?
Ferda.
Okay.
Ferda. They need somebody to tell them about like safe sex.
Right?
Yeah.
Use protection. They obviously didn't do well in health class.
No.
Yeah.
Not so much.
So now then get it next is Dax and Ron. I mean,
in this episode, if I heard that they had lots of STDs over and over and over again, I would be like, what is your fucking problem? Wear a fucking condom.
Are you fighting them?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it would be a Ferda fight because I want to be their friend desperately, but you're putting other people's health in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Even if it's something like you don't know. Don't do that. Don't take your life. Just sex is not worth your life. There's nothing wrong with STDs. I'm not STD shaming, but when you have a pattern of lots of casual sex in this day and age, and you are not using steps to protect yourself from things or protect other people from things you may have, I have a problem with you.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you. I understand.
I mean, at that point, I'm pretty sure you can be charged with assault.
Yeah.
If you do that.
Yeah.
I think somebody in like one of my law classes in high school tried to argue that it was assault with a deadly weapon.
Well, there have been court cases where people with HIV are charged with attempted murder for not disclosing. So, like, that's not it. You don't have the right to take someone else's health in your own hands. That's just my opinion on that whole matter.
FYI, we are not a legal show and do not provide any legal advice.
True story. I really don't know nothing. I'm just talking about things that I've heard.
Morality wise, it's a bad thing to do.
Yes,
let's just put it that way. And
seriously, talking from my own point of view,
but you're right. I understand. Yeah, it's a fucked up way to treat people. So, but I think for them, they're the ones always getting it.
That is true. That is true. But they're getting it from somewhere and maybe not finding out or figuring it out until, like,
Until they go pee.
But it's not that immediate.
Well,
Yeah.
well, this has been a season.
Yes.
Right.
So they've slept with people in between getting infected and actually showing symptoms.
Yeah.
And you can transmit during that time. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, so
sometimes it's asymptomatic.
True.
Right. Exactly. You may never show symptoms and you may be passing something on to somebody.
So get tested, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shit, that's how HPV causes cancer in people my age because there was no vaccination when I was young.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
My aunt got cancer from HPV. Like, it's a thing that happens. I've seen it happen.
Just about every woman I know has had an abnormal Pap smear, which led to either an HPV diagnosis that eventually either went away or developed into cancer.
Yeah.
There's almost every woman I know.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough that I was able to get the vaccine. Like, it existed when I was that age.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
So where are you with Dax and Ron then, Reagan?
Fight.
Yeah.
Like, they're great. The characters are great. They're funny.
Oh,
but they deserve to be fought right now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it can be fighting with words.
Yes, absolutely. I don't fight with fists. I'm not.
I'm not
If
strong
I ever
enough.
tried to get into a physical fight,
I'd have a
wouldn't win.
scrap.
I don't tell you certain things that I know would make you want to fight. So
anyway, Glenn. How can you not like
Glenn?
Glenn?
I mean, he's kind of annoying in this episode because he really wants everyone to know that he's the one in
He's
charge.
so proud that
He's so proud. I'm gonna say Ferda.
Okay. Is that what you're gonna say?
That's what I'm gonna say. But I wonder what
Miss Julie Binoche.
I do wonder what classic movie star he would compare me to, though.
That's a good question. Oh, Miss Billie Holiday.
Well, Miss Halle Berry, maybe.
Miss Halle Berry. He did that. No, he did that with Rosie.
Oh yeah. Well, Rosie and I have about the same skin color.
There you
I
go.
might be a little lighter than her, though.
All right. So you're Ferda with Glenn. Reagan.
Ferda, I'd sing hymns with him all the way home. A little bit of this little light.
Yeah, I might actually do that too. I could be into singing some hymns with Glenn.
When you're drunk?
When I'm drunk.
When I'm drunk. Be thou my vision.
All right, then. How about Gail? Gail is completely fucking drunk.
Oh my God. I love Gail a lot, but Marie Fred was very uncomfortable by the end of that. And Gail held eye contact the entire time she was doing that with Marie Fred. And you could just see the smile slipping just ever so slightly. That would be me if Gail ever did something like that. This is very uncomfortable and it's not stopping. And
this is Wayne's girlfriend. Who's Wayne? Oh, I don't know him.
Okay, what's happening here? So yeah, probably Ferda.
All right.
But Ferda with what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, that's helping. You're trying to keep her from making.
You are making her uncomfortable. What are you doing? Stop it.
Yeah.
Just dial it back. What?
She's
10-15%.
She's like the Roland shit of this.
Yeah. I love her. I find her hilarious. But
yes.
Sometimes that kind of
sometimes she goes to 11.
Yeah. That kind of vibe is like weird guy trying to pick me up in a bar kind of feeling.
Yeah,
it's no longer sexy when you are making it creepy.
Right. Well, Mr. McMurray he's the counterpart to that.
Right.
So on this, so where are you with Gail, Reagan?
Ferda. She needs somebody to help her get home safely.
Yes.
Definitely.
Unless she lives at Modine's.
She might.
She might. I don't know.
Maybe apartment above.
Could be. Could very well be. I think everyone knows McMurray.
McMurray's a piece of shit. He's just gross.
Same. I put that in my notes.
He's so gross.
He was born on the outside of the toilet.
The toilet. Oh man.
I don't know. Like,
So
McMurray's the kind of person that if he was a regular at the bar that I went to, I would go to a different bar just to avoid him. Like, not fighting, not Ferda, not fucking, none of it. Just getting away from him. Like, if this was real life.
Yeah.
At least drinking wise. Like, he's a little less of a piece of shit when he's sober. But
Okay. So you don't have
Do I have a fourth option? Fuck, fight, for to flee. Oh!
For the flea. We need the bass line. We need Flea playing a bass line.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'd maybe put that down as a fight, I guess. Because maybe I'd yell at him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm an avoider. You know this.
Yeah. I mean, but he gets up in your face.
Oh, God. That's the worst, too. The personal space.
Yeah.
Like, whispering in my ear is one of the big no-nos in my...
So that's going to go to a fight.
Oh, yeah. That probably would,
right, there you go. Fight.
There you go.
There we go. I got an answer. All right.
This is why I keep you around.
Oh, is that why you keep you around?
Well, that and that thing you do that I like so much.
That one thing?
That one thing.
Okay.
Just the one.
All right. Reagan?
Fight as well.
All right.
He's gross.
He's so gross.
It looks like he should have a mustache, and he doesn't.
A porn
and that
stash?
will never stop bothering me.
He should have
his upper lip.
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like there should be a mustache there, but there's not.
Nope.
And that's not. It doesn't look right. But that's not why I'm fighting him.
But if he had a mustache, it would be a porn stash for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right. How about Mrs. McMurray? Let's assume she sobers up a little bit, where she can consent.
True.
Would you go with her on the visit to Cancun?
If she promised never to talk to me like she did to Katy in the bar, where she's doing that cock is there for the cunt and the cunt. Yeah. If she promised not to do that, then probably, because it would probably be a lot of fun.
Okay, then.
So I guess Ferda for this episode.
Ferda. All right. Reagan.
Unless she has a habit of doing the same thing that McMurray does, which, if that's the case.
All right. We know
Ferda.
Okay, Ferda.
Ferda.
I mean, we know
she's
she
living
gets
her best life.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
is.
Hell
We know
yeah.
she gets flirty when she's
And
she's
McMurray's
constantly.
living his best life too, but he does not need to share it so openly with everybody.
Yeah. He's he's definitely got his insecurities about it, so that's why.
And he doesn't have like his insecurities have created no boundaries.
True.
Like, he doesn't know where that line is that he should not cross in
It's
conversation.
like he's just so proud about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's end up with the good McMurray, Bonnie.
Bonnie McMurray.
See, now you guys are closer in age than anybody else is,
yeah.
so that's
Like, you're just a little bit younger than her, right?
Yeah, she just turned 21.
Yeah. She'd be a Ferda though. Like, she seems like she'd be a lot of fun to hang out with and just like be friends with.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
All right. Well, that's all. That's it. Did I miss anybody? I think we didn't have. We didn't have any skids this time around.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
This episode deserved ruled. All episodes deserved ruled.
Yeah,
right?
There should be a rolled animated series.
Oh my gosh! Just.
Oh my God! I would watch the fuck out of that show.
I would watch a show that's just Evan Stern reading his Twitter account because he's the king of Twitter.
Right? If you're not following him on Twitter, go do it now. Because seriously,
please.
Dude,
I have
funny.
notifications for him. Like, it notifies me. That's how he's liked so many of my responses, because I just get in there quick.
Oh God, yeah, that picture that he posted of him and his, I don't know if they were siblings as kids. This is the all Stern. So I did. Hey, now you're an all Stern, and then he showed the translation of Stern, which is star.
No, that's
I said that's beautiful. You were born into Smash Mouth.
You merely studied Smash Mouth. I was born in it.
Fuck. You only studied Smash Mouth.
That was better. Okay.
I was born in it.
Okay,
Yes.
Bane.
Anything? So, final thoughts. stuff. Oh yeah, we got to do that. Thank you for bringing that up before, because I didn't have a mark for that.
My play-by-play forgot to put something down in his play-by-play.
So Reagan, bring up those pictures that I sent you. So now
I've got them.
We have let's see, I need to
they're good this week too.
And I forgot the one guy's name. Well, the other one, John Keeney, who is the fellow that's dressed like Derry.
At the Super Soft Party.
At the Super Soft Party. Excellent get up. He's got the onesie. He's got the feather boa.
Even the hair.
He got the hair and a tiara on. Standing back next to his buddy Wayne, who he said that his buddy does not do social media and doesn't listen to podcasts, so screw him, basically.
All right.
So this is John Keeney as Derry, and the other fellow we got is our buddy and. Regardless of how well we know him and how many times he's been on the show, we love Renee regardless. But he's dressed up like Joint Boy. And Reagan, what did you say when you saw this picture?
I dead ass thought that was actually Joint Boy.
So
Renee
had entered the contest.
Yeah, he absolutely looks like Joint Boy.
Well, that's what I said.
He even said he just needed a baseball tee to complete the look.
Yeah, that's what I said last week when he was on the show. I said our resident Joint Boy.
Yep.
So because he smokes a lot of weed.
Oh yeah. Like I always think that I smoke a lot of weed. I mean, this one's hard because Renee really does, like, that picture looks like Joel Gunny, like he could be his stunt double or something. He looks so much like him. But the guy who did Derry also did a really great job.
Oh yeah.
There's a patch on the coveralls in the Derry photo. I just noticed that. Wow.
Oh yeah, it's the right patch too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thompson's Farms.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's dedication.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think those little details is.
I mean, they're both beautiful. It's hard.
They really are.
You know what?
Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to say. Both of them are good. They both win.
Considering we haven't had one in a while, hell yeah, they both do on this one.
I mean, because it's hard. It's definitely hard to pick. We love and you know we love having people do this. We love Renee. Renee is a beautiful person. Even though he got a little bit tipsy on the last one, we love you, Renee.
It worked
you are
fine.
one of our favorite people in the world.
Yes, absolutely.
and he's also a brother in arms, so we love that.
But for two completely different reasons. But I agree. Like they're both perfect in their own way.
The only thing that Renee's is missing is a joint.
Right, which I'm kind of surprised. Renee, I know you're listening. I'm kind of surprised this is not a picture of you smoking a joint, looking like Joint Boy.
I think he was trying. He actually did want to wait a little bit longer to do the picture because he wanted to make it just right. But
he can do it again. I mean, this episode is coming out the day before my birthday. You can absolutely do this again.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
So are you saying that Renee does not win this one?
No, I say both.
Okay,
I absolutely am saying both because I wouldn't be able to choose. I think Renee's is spot on for, like, he picked the perfect like the stance, the look on his face, everything. And then the other one is like the details are so great. Like the tiara and the patch and the solo cup or it's not what is that?
It's a solo cup.
It is. Yeah, no, that one's not a solo cup.
A Dixie cup.
Dixie cup. Yeah.
Okay.
The solo cups are red.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Red solo cup.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So all right. So you both win.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Renee and John. I don't know if John
we want to give you stuff.
We want to give you shirts. Renee has already picked his. He wants a fuck fight for a shirt. So, and that's what
I love that you just said Renee's already picked his. Renee's like, if I win, this is what I want.
No, I asked him. I said, so if you win, what do you want? I said, go pick one of the shirts. And first he said, I want a standard. No, I want fuck fight for it. So and we love that. You know, I love that people are excited about our show. And that will send stuff in. So we love you all. It's amazing that you fucking stick around and listen to us do this silly shit week in and week out. Any final thoughts from you there, Reagan?
Nope.
All right.
I'm all thoughted out.
All thoughted out. T?
No. This was just that, you know, we are nuns of us perfect.
That is correct.
We are nuns of us perfect.
So I will bring up that again. We are look forward to our interview with Jess Alguero. I am.
By the time you hear this, we will have already done the interview. So please, I hope that you've already sent in any questions and stuff that you have.
And also, if you haven't, if you want to listen early, make sure you can at the $1 level, you can even listen to the episode. So, feel free to jump in. You'll get it. Next week, we will be doing our season 6, episode 6. With Awesome. Again. Awesome's coming back. And music by Yellow Light Maybe. So we definitely look forward to that. As we go, we're going to go out with a little more Light the Lamp. How about Light the Lamp doing Light the Lamp?
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of How Are You Now? We appreciate you coming back every week to listen to us be silly. This week's music was done by Light the Lamp out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. They are on lightthelamp.bandcamp.com. They're also on Facebook, Light the Lamp Band. They're on Instagram, Light the Lamp Band, and on Twitter at Light the Lamp PA. Their information will be in the show notes, and you should go check them out. Their music this week was Bring Back the Whale and Light the Lamp. And you can also check out our Spotify playlist out on Spotify, and that will also be in the show notes. So thank you again for listening, and we'll see you again next week. Also, don't forget to rate and review us on either Apple Podcasts, iTunes, or podchaser.com. See you, DJs, next week.